What's up, everybody? Today I wanted to discuss with you what is the best way to get started in e-commerce if you have $0 to start. So, the best way and the easiest way to get started is to literally look at what's around you. So, in your home, anything that you don't need, anything that you don't want, those are the best things to start to sell initially to get at least a little bit of startup capital to be able to reinvest into whatever it is you want to do. Now, with that being said, following once you decide what it is exactly what you're going to sell, and in fact, that could happen during or after what I'm going to tell you next. First thing, really, first action you want to take besides that, first online action is going to be setting up an account on eBay. So going to eBay, setting up an account if you don't already have one. If you have one just to purchase things, go ahead and get your seller account fully set up. Go ahead and come up with a good name, something that you think sounds professional, something that'll inspire trust in people that are landing on your store, and see if you can just get some professionality to it. Maybe a nice little description and a nice image, for your actual store, whatever it is you want to call it, and basically something to make yourself look professional and presentable. From there, the next things I would recommend is set up an account on OfferUp. You probably know what OfferUp is already. Go ahead and set up an account there if you don't already have one set up. Next one is Mercari. Same thing, get your account all set up on Mercari to be able to sell things. Mercari and OfferUp, it'll be more as an individual. So on eBay, I recommend that you sign up and come up with a good store name and, obviously represent yourself as a store. On Mercari and OfferUp. It's going to be best if you just present yourself, as an individual seller. On those more local applications, if people want to do business with other people, they don't really want to, buy from an ambiguous store that has, a store name and a store logo on OfferUp or Mercari. They're looking for more of like an interpersonal connection with another seller, an individual. So with that being said, go ahead and set up those accounts. If you have Facebook, I don't want to assume that everybody does by default, even though most people do. If you have Facebook, then go ahead and go into your Facebook Marketplace area. Make sure you have everything set up there. There's really not too much to set up, I don't believe, right out of the gate. There, all you got to do is pretty much list your first product. So once you are set up on eBay, OfferUp, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace, at that point, begin taking photographs of the items that you have to sell. Take good quality photos. I always recommend using a good backdrop if possible. Again, I know we're talking about using $0 to start, but a good option to take some good pictures is a photo box, maybe a photo box. One of these types of photo boxes here. You can find them for as little as 20 or 30 bucks, depending on the brand, depending on the size as well. Again, not mandatory right out of the gate, but it will make taking pictures of your items much easier. They'll come out looking a lot more professional. One of the limitations is obviously the size of it, so keep that in mind. This one's only 10 by 10 by 10, so it's only going to fit smaller items. So if you have anything that's larger, you're going to have to be creative with how you photograph them and the backdrop and everything. But the point I'm trying to make is take professional looking photos. Don't just take a picture of an item thrown on your desk or on a table with a bunch of other random things on the table. Put some thought into it. Make it a nice backdrop, something that looks good. Try to take a good photo, not that's going to be a professional photograph, but something that looks good with your phone or whatever the device is that you have. And from there, go ahead and begin listing it online. Search in the different marketplaces, whether it's eBay, OfferUp, Mercari, whatever you're doing. I recommend just doing a quick search for comparable items. eBay makes it specifically very easy because with eBay, you can actually just go ahead and I'll just go back here to eBay. Pause the video by accident. So eBay makes it very easy to go ahead and search for items. So I'll type in here. eBay, okay, fine. And then I'll go here, pillows, as an example. Okay, so with eBay, you can go to the actual sold items, click on that, and this will actually show you sold items for whatever it is that you type in your search for. So again, just do a brief search, give you some idea of what the market is. You know, you don't want to have your things priced way above the market. You don't want to price them below the market either. So just a quick, simple search, depending on what it is you're selling. Obviously, the more specific you are, if you have a specific brand or a specific item that you're looking for or you're looking to sell, then obviously that would be what you would look for, not just, you know, pillows as I search for generically. But look for comparables, try to find what the market value is of whatever it is you're selling, and then go ahead and list it. And then do the same thing, as I said, on the other apps. Now, OfferUp, Mercari, and Facebook Marketplace, they don't have the feature of being able to see sold and sold prices the way eBay does. So you're not going to have that functionality, but there is, you know, the ability to go ahead and research what's currently being offered for sale and seeing more or less where you are, you know, depending on what you're selling and also depending on your market, you know, where you are. So with that, I think that's really a good nutshell, a good synopsis of how to get started. You know, really, if you're starting with no money or very little money, it's, you know, it's very difficult to invest your hard-earned money, especially if you don't have much, into products just to be able to sell, you know, and beginning that journey, getting funds tied up right out of the gate. In my experience, if you're brand new, just starting out, the best and easiest way is to analyze your things that you already have, see what it is that you don't want, you don't need. Most people, especially here in the US, most people have, you know, things that they can immediately say, okay, I don't really need that, I don't really want that, or whatever. You know, of course, in most cases, in many cases, you know, things are good to give to people that are less fortunate and give to Goodwill, etc. But obviously trying to start a business, trying to see what's the best way to get started if you don't have a lot or any startup capital. And that would be to take a look around in your peripheral, see what you have that you would be willing to part with, and then see what it's worth and go ahead and list it online and sell it. Another thing on eBay, depending on the item, I don't recommend this for every item, but depending on the item, if you see that it has some demand, there's some sales, there's some traffic for that specific item, you can always try to list it on eBay for as an auction. I always recommend doing auctions for a minimum of 5 to 7 days. I prefer 7 days just to give a full week. And in addition, you always want to list your listings, or begin your listings rather, in the evening hours. So I'm Eastern time, anywhere from about 7 to 11 p.m., roughly midnight Eastern time. And then, you know, that translates over to West Coast time. You know, that would be the best time to list the listings, start the listings. But then again, depending on what you're selling, if it's an item that really doesn't have a lot of search value, a lot of demand, you might put yourself in a pickle and sell the item for $1. You know, and if you do something like free shipping, then at that point you're going to be in the hole for shipping. But just do your research. What I'm trying to say, you know, if it's something that you think is going to have some demand, like you know, I don't know, an example would be like a pair of lightly used Jordans, you know, retro Jordans, say Jordan 3s that, you know, usually they're pretty well always in demand. Unless you have a pair that's completely destroyed and not, you know, maybe very popular in color. But generally speaking, if you have a decent pair that's relatively new for most colorways in that example, you would list it and probably get, I'll say, maybe about $50, $100, depending on what it is, again, in the condition. So after fees, you know, you'd probably be looking at 30 to 80 bucks or whatever it is. But the point is, that is an item that you could list at a 1 week auction starting at 99 cents, and it should go up over the course of the week. Versus if you list your 2 navy blue pillows for an auction starting at 99 cents, it's probably going to go up to maybe a couple bucks by the end of the week. And again, if you don't have a shipping price factored in there, you know, whatever it is, accurately factored in there as well, then you're probably going to end up taking an L on the shipping. So just be careful with that. But definitely, that would be my recommendation starting out. Take a look around, see what you have available, and go ahead and list that online. Sell that. Once you do, you can look at what the next step is to continue your e-commerce journey. So with that, I will end this video, and I will catch you guys next time. Thank you.